Happy Sweet Tea Party Day, ladies and gentlemen. And if you don't know what I mean, then obviously you don't have a white chair in your house. Beef, wine, and shenanigans, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, baby. A year ago, this very day,
Mhm.
um, there was a little brawl on the docks out in Montgomery, Alabama. And safe to say some of it was racially motivated, and let's just say some of it, a little alcohol balls.
Mhm.
Either way, um, it will live on as a day that the white folding chair will stand as a symbol of freedom and liberation forever and ever.
Mhm.
Beef, wine, and shenanigans, folks. Hey, it's only three of us tonight. Kirk Johnson could not join us. However, I am still joined by the Khaleesi herself, Denise Tapscott,
Hello, everyone.
and Hand of the Queen or King, whichever feels like living and dying. Mark Abbott is with us as well. I am Stephen Van
Yay!
Patten. Some people call me SVP. Some people call me that motherfucker from Brooklyn. Anyway,
Meow.
At least they don't call you
He's a
Frank and
joker.
Ernest.
He's a smoker.
hey, that's only in Philadelphia and Chicago, baby. Uh, and folks, if you don't know why that's funny, you obviously have not seen The Long Kiss Goodnight. Um,
I love that mug. I love that mug.
vintage. Anyway,
Mhm.
um, so much to the chagrin of fans of House of the Dragon, because I'm gonna be completely honest, I had no idea last night was gonna be season finale.
Oh.
And for clarity, normally we do this on Sundays, but we have actually recorded this particular episode on a Monday, and that's fitting because then we get to celebrate August 5th and
Think
talk
it
about
will be
House
a
of
good day.
Dragons.
Mm-hmm.
And then maybe induce a little, vomiting later when we start talking about Donald Trump. But
Oof, oof.
I gotta say, this was a very enjoyable 8 episodes. Like, pretty much makes up for the fuckery that was the Game of Thrones finale. Like, I feel like there's been redemption.
Definitely.
But before we get into all kinds of spoilers and stuff that may piss people off who, you know, um, have not seen the last few episodes, and if you haven't seen the last 2 episodes, um, respectfully, get your life. But before I get into that, I am gonna say that because in my mind, and maybe you two will disagree with this, in my mind, I'm figuring we're wrapping this up within those last few episodes, and then all of a sudden, what do you mean there's a season 3? Like, that's where I was, because this
Ah.
this with, hey, I've got like a whole bunch of new dragons. Like, there's like all of a sudden there's like a dragon, you know buy one get one free kind of thing that just happened. And and it's like, okay, so now she's like, first of all, I didn't even know that many dragons were downstairs. Like, how do you
Right.
even have that much space? Like, how do
Yeah.
you, like, there's people in New York right now that have like a German Shepherd and one baby, and they're cramped up. You got so much real estate that you have dragons, like big ass
Mm-hmm.
dragons,
Mm-hmm.
just chilling in the
Mm-hmm.
caves, not getting mad at each other, because that would be the first thing.
Yeah.
Hey, Sea Smoke, could you turn that music down? Like, I'm trying to sleep. Stuff like that would be going on. And it's just like, I was just like, wow. So the
Yeah. And there
problem,
was one in the wild too.
yes, yes. And
Yeah.
the poor girl got all kinds of soot and ash on her
Oh
face,
my stars.
chasing
Yes.
after this thing,
Mm-hmm.
and she might get eaten. I mean, I'm just saying, I don't think that's what's gonna happen. But I mean, they kind of left it out there. I'm imagining it's one of those things where it's like, so, actress's name, your contract is up on this day. We're wondering, well, you know what? Let's discuss it a little closer to the beginning of season 3. You know. Anyway, here's the script. What do you mean? I'm face to face with a wild dragon at the end of the episode, and nobody knows what happens next. Honey, it's called a cliffhanger. Anyway, have your agent get back to us with how much of a raise you want, and we'll talk. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure it's not really like that, but it's kind of like that,
Yeah.
Because I mean, it's not like they don't have like a character shortage.
Right. Right.
know.
Kind of like in The Walking Dead when Sophia died. Oh my God. But I'm sure that her agent had that talk, like, okay, this is gonna be the last episode and let's discuss your raise. So then when Sophia comes out, the whole season we're like looking for Sophia. Sophia's got to be somewhere. And then when all the walkers come out of that barn and she's like the last one, and you're like, no, it's Sophia. It's Sophia. Yeah, I would want to go out in a blaze of glory. Yeah. So if that happens to that character, at least she would be going out in a blaze of glory too.
Literally a blaze of
Literally.
glory. Oh my God. But I gotta tell you, this whole like dragon rider situation, like, I mean, look, for the most part, I'm happy with how things worked out. You got some good looking black people riding on some big ass dragons. And everything is real sweet. However, I just felt like, all right, you got all these dragons now, settle this. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
yeah,
I feel like now that you have, because what is it like okay, I was joking around earlier, but she's got like 4 new dragons. Is that?
Hey, I think they said she has a total of 7 dragons. I thought she's like,
right.
Well, you now have 7 dragons under your command. You can definitely take this fight and win.
Right. At this point, I'm like, I figure you just park around King's Landing with everybody. It's like, yeah. Amen. Come on outside, man. No, we just want to talk, son. We just want to talk. Come on outside.
Yeah, but the problem is he's ready. Mentally he's ready. He's trying to garner all the stuff and all the things. I'm trying to be vague on purpose, unless we don't care about spoilers. Yeah, like he wants to fight. And it's like, bro, they got 7 dragons. Sit your ass down.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I think also that Aemon, I think my favorite part is just watching Aemon suddenly like following the dragon back. Because he's like, he's got a rider. And then in the distance, you see 2 more. And it's very clear they all have riders. And it's like, give me 1 second. You'll come home and go to your sister and be like, get your dragon. Wait, what? She was like, right. I'm not going nowhere. And I ain't damn sure ain't going nowhere with you. Right. It's like he said, well, we the only 2. She was like, yeah, you didn't think. And that, like, mom is like, you didn't think that through, did you?
Exactly.
You didn't think that through.
Did not think that through.
I just have to say this. It's a telling tale. It's a telling tale. When you don't know how many of your family been sleeping around, and you got to call everybody to the cave to see who the dragon gets rid of.
Right.
Like, all right. So now that he's my cousin, he's my cousin. I swore didn't look like Riley's boy? I ain't him either. It's like, well, that's Riley's boy. Oh, no, it's not Riley's boy. No, not at all.
Oh my stars. Yeah.
I'm like,
it always makes you think of like how Black people always insist they have Native Americans. Like, do you? Do you? You say you have Blackfoot. Let's find out if you really do.
If you really do, the dragon will tell.
The dragon will tell.
It's like she was like basically like, yeah, let the dragon speak. And he just seemed like, okay, no, not you. You I'm gonna eat. You I'm gonna eat. You I'm saving for later. I'm
Man.
like, meanwhile, in the depths of, and the fact that the fact that you got two dragons that when they found their rider start playing with them. Cause like my man's like nuzzling him, knocking him over, just like it's like, hey, it's me.
Like it's a big dog. Like
exactly. And
yes.
he's over there having the time of his life flying around. I was like, did somebody tell you to go to King's Landing with the dragon? No.
Right. I didn't think so.
He just like, I got me a dragon.
Right.
I'm gonna let
like an old 70s player with a new Cadillac.
Right.
Just flying around. Hey,
hey,
what's up?
I see you. I see you.
Mama, look at me. I'm made it, Mom. Top of the world.
On a dragon.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Get your boy.
That's wild.
Get your boy. I like how the other dragon, I can't remember the guy's name with his long hair, where the dragon was gonna burn this one lady, and he's like, "No, I'm over here. I'm here." I was like, "That she's so brave, and if this is Blaze of Glory, then so be it." And then when the dragon stopped, when he looked at the dragon, and the dragon looked at him, I was like, "Let's go, let's go!" I was like just yelling at the TV, "Let's go!" Yeah.
I thought that's why the dragon picked him. He's like, "Oh, you about that life? I like you."
And he's all like, "Oh no, you were the ones."
Okay, all right.
All right.
The stories are real. Yeah.
All right, my money, your dollar. Come on, get on the back. It's like,
I loved it. I absolutely loved it. Yeah.
That was a beautiful ending to that episode.
Yeah.
And just and for years when we watch Game of Thrones, we always the villain always seems to triumph. That we never get that moment, except for when Joffrey died, and we got that moment where Cersei just completely lost it, and then everybody who basically wanted to see the boy dead was confused. They were like, "Wait, he's okay." Now what?
Yeah.
But to see Aemon, because kudos to the actor who plays Aemon. I don't know how that guy has next to Homelander. I've never seen somebody with such a resting bitch face in my life. He can play smug like you don't.
Well, Steven met him in real life.
Yeah.
Can he do that smug?
No, he was actually kind of chill. Which I was okay with, because because I'm escorting him for his entrance with the other gentleman that plays Kristen Cole.
Yeah.
And he was nervous. That was the funny thing. We had to give him something to drink so he would calm down.
Aww.
The other one, he was chilling. He's kind of like he is on the show, just cool customer and whatever.
Yeah.
But they, they were both very different than they are on the show in that
right.
I mean,
of course,
and he would have to be, I would say, because then somebody might shoot his ass in real life. Coming up to motherfuckers in a bar, "I'd like a whiskey." It's like, nigga. So
I'd like you to get out my face. What's wrong with you?
It's a good but thing.
He would just stare.
I think it's a good thing that he doesn't, fully rep like that. The eye patch, though, that adds to it. Don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
For sure. Yeah. Oh my gosh. It makes me think about the interview that Stephen had earlier today with these two lady writers. It was a wonderful interview. And one of them asked what Stephen was like in real life, because he's Black Vampire Productions, and they would see him from far away. And he's like, but when you talk to him, he's like, it's a really friendly guy and he's down to earth. And then they're like, well, until the sun goes down. And I was just like, he's a vampire. Yeah,
Well,
but like to see the
but wait,
person and then to see the
Did you
person.
hear? Did you hear? I didn't know you were on. But
Oh,
or else I would have shouted you out because I told them the story about you in the airport, and then a
yes.
coffin-shaped box comes sliding
Yes.
by, and you take a
Yes.
picture of it and say, and with the message, Steve, I didn't know you were in California today, and
The box has aircraft parts in it.
right. Oh no, they cracked up.
Aircraft. They
They
did.
cracked
Yeah,
up at that.
aircraft.
Oh my god.
Aircraft.
But that's the same thing. Stephen and I did something. I think we had done this thing at Brooklyn Tea,
Mm-hmm.
and someone had bought a copy. This was when we did the first Hell at the Way Station,
Mm-hmm.
and girl got her autograph from Stephen, so she comes over to me, and I was talking to somebody, and I catch her out the side of my eye, and I was like, hey, and she was like, can I? I was like, yeah, sure, I'll sign it. And then she go, okay, so you were not what I thought. I'm looking at you on the cover, and you look like I was afraid to say something because I thought you were gonna bite my head off. I'm like, I'm not like that at all. I'm completely different person. So there's this whole persona
Mm-hmm.
when we write or when we, do stuff
With the
that
things
like,
that we create versus who we
yeah,
actually are.
as who we actually are. So
Yeah.
it's I can understand that when it comes to actors,
Mm-hmm.
it's a role that I play,
Yeah.
and then, some people, Danny Glover said years ago when after he played in
Color
Color
Purple.
Purple, woman slapped him
Oof.
in the airport.
Woo!
Mm-hmm.
Old lady hit him with her purse. And he was
Oh
like, lady,
no.
that's a role that I played in a
Yeah.
movie. I'm like,
Yeah, meanwhile, TSA coming to get her.
yeah,
Right.
like, what the
And he's
hell
like, no,
kind
no,
of
no. I know why she hit me. You don't have to do anything. It's
exactly.
fine.
Yeah.
But you're still wrong, lady. You're still
Yeah.
wrong.
Right. Right.
Well, you should see that video. The kid who plays Tyreek on what was that show on Power?
Oh.
So in the series Power,
Mm-hmm.
he had a son in that first series, boy named Tyreek. And Tyreek every week until I started watching the show, people would be like, yo, somebody need to beat him. Somebody need to put a belt to this child, this, that. So when you start watching the show, you start to see the ignorant things that he does or how blatantly disrespectful he is to his father.
Mm.
So I guess he's aware of it. So he did this whole video where he got on an elevator and there's a guy already on the elevator. And the guy looks at him and he's like, shh, it's taking a lot for me not to say something to you right now. And
Oh
he's
my
like, you talking to
goodness.
me? He goes, I'm talking to you. You disrespectful. He goes, dude, that's a show that I work on. That's a character.
Yeah.
And the guy's like, it's not a show, Tyreek. It's not a show.
Oh no.
Oh my God.
Oh my
But I think that
gosh.
was the answer. All the people who were like being rude to him because he's like, it's a character that I play on a show. It's not.
Yeah.
That's not who I am in real life.
Yeah.
But there's some people that just they associate the character with.
Yeah. The lady that played the wife on Breaking Bad, they said she kept getting death threats. She's like, it's just a character. It's just I'm not. He's not Walter White.
He's not one, and I'm not even married to the man.
I'm not even
I
married to him.
got
I'm married
another
to
man.
somebody else.
But
yeah,
and not to say that I agree with harassing people for acting gigs or whatever, but that was one of the most annoying overall, like TV wives of all time. Like,
oh yeah, I mean, she played that role well.
very
Oof.
much.
Yeah.
All right, and what's
definitely.
her name on Ozark?
Ruth
Laura
or the
Linney.
other one? Both of them.
Laura Linney.
His wife.
His wife, yeah.
And then the old woman.
Yep.
Oh, the Latina one?
No. The elderly lady that married the young, what's her name's Ruth's brother.
Oh yeah. Oh my
But but
stars.
but
Ooh.
she had, I'm sorry, she had one of the greatest line. Kudos to the writer and kudos to her for delivering it when she was like, I would burn that woman at the stake if I didn't think the devil himself would come up and save her. I was like, damn.
That was I remember that. That was a good line.
Man.
I think the devil was like, whoa.
Right.
How bad are you?
Right. Ooh-wee. Oh my gosh.
But
The season
yeah,
finale though for the House of Dragons. Can we say any spoilers? Is that okay?
I mean, we've
No?
already
Or should we wait it? Okay.
no.
My favorite part, well, two favorite parts is when Damon goes with the witch and he finally has the vision when he touches the tree
Mm.
and we get to see what he sees, like he's finally ready to see what he's supposed to see. And we see Daenerys with the little baby eggs. And we see the Night Walker and he's like, winter is coming. And, it's coming. That was amazing. And then the scene when he's with Rhaenyra, I'm gonna be vague. I just love
oh,
that.
that
I
was
was just
great.
like, oh, I love this so much. Yeah, it
Yeah.
was amazing, amazing. Yeah,
Well,
I
what
was very
his
happy.
brother tells him in that vision,
Mm-hmm.
and it almost kind of speaks to real life because
Mm-hmm.
everybody wants the crown, but they don't realize how much of a burden
Mm-hmm.
that is. They all
Yeah.
want to, everybody wants to be empowered. It's like they always say, I think I almost want to say somebody said it on the show about the fact that they always want to be in power. Like the wrong people always want to be in power.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
It's not
Mm-hmm.
the person who doesn't want it is usually the one that's offered it.
Yeah.
And they're like, I really want to be in charge of that. No, that's why I'm
You are
giving it
the
to you because you don't
exactly.
want to be. You put
Exactly.
now here's where things get a little dicey. The king's gone.
I know.
Mm.
I'm like, now after that deal you just made,
Right. And he gone?
he gone.
Hmm.
So I don't know
Hmm.
how that's gonna work out. When
I don't
when they
know.
when they get there and
Yeah.
it's like, yo, where is he? Yeah, see, that's
Well,
the thing.
what had happened
What had
was
happened was it's like,
wow.
okay,
Yeah. I'm definitely looking forward to next season.
Yeah.
Whatever
this
it's gonna be.
Whenever it's gonna be, which hopefully
Yeah.
is, less than a year, but the way they be doing this
you know
stuff, I don't know.
Oh no.
this season finale, you know what it reminded me of? I don't know if you
Hmm.
guys remember. Deep Space Nine.
Mm.
Oh.
Okay. There was that year they were that they had to turn over Deep Space Nine to the Cardassians.
Mm-hmm.
Cisco and them leave,
Mm-hmm.
and then you see the Defiant do like this 360-degree turn, and the entire Starfleet, all the battleships are headed toward Deep Space Nine. And I was like, oh, this is gonna be, and then it ends. And I was like,
Wah, wah.
but this is what I waited for. I wanted to see somebody had to set something off.
Well,
I gotta wait a whole year. Now I gotta sit on my couch and wait a whole year before.
Right.
right.
Oh my goodness.
So I do have to say that I am a little worried about one thing. And
Hmm.
this really has more to do with the history of HBO and series and storytelling.
Oh.
And it's this. There's been a couple of shows that started off great, successful. And
Hmm.
the two that I will pinpoint are The Sopranos
Hmm.
and True Blood,
Hmm.
with both of which I watched religiously.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
And then, and the first couple of seasons, everything's great, everything's fantastic. Then somewhere along the way, there's a not even necessarily a jumping of a shark, so to speak, but sort of like where the story just runs out of gas. And that's what I'm a little worried about, because the way they set this up, like it almost feels like another 2 episodes, just let everybody fight.
Yeah.
Bang, bang. These guys go here, this guys go here. This girl works out her contract situation, so maybe she gets a dragon, maybe she gets fried. Everybody does the things. And then that's it. It's over. That's kind of what's going on in my head. Obviously, season 3 is going to get dragged out to a lot more than that.
Yeah.
Will it be as good as season 2? Let's hope, let's pray. But that, like I said, there's these moments where they stretch the show out because I want to say Dexter kind of went a season longer than it should have. And then they start, once you're like, in a romantic relationship with the sister after she finds out that you're killing people, it's like, that's where you kind of lose me a little bit. And I just hope, granted, House of Dragons, people with sisters and brothers, that's not necessarily a problem there.
Right.
We got that out of the way nice and early. So if there's more in that, then fine. They did leave a lot to kind of sew up.
Yeah.
I'm just looking for good stuff. I'm looking for, this season was so good that I just, the idealist in me just wants it to be consistent, and I just hope it stays that way.
I think they will. I don't know if you watched the segment after the show and the different characters and stuff that they talked about, like the lady pirate who's really similar to the character in the book. I think with this particular group of like writers and directors and the production staff, I think that they'll do it justice. I think that they're sprinkling in enough of the original content with new stuff that I think it's not going to be like Game of Thrones, especially because I did a throw to the future with Daenerys. I think we're going to be okay.
All right.
I think we're going to be okay. I don't think they're going to trash us. Yeah. We even got to see the White Walker. Yeah.
I do know that right before the episode started, they ran through a litany of shows that are coming to HBO. There is another one-off of Game of Thrones coming out.
Oh.
And then there is, I'm trying to find it now because I'm trying to remember the name of it because it flashed by kind of quickly. Yeah. Because they're also doing The Penguin.
Yes. I was so surprised at that.
Which I am very much looking forward to.
Sure.
To see exactly what they're bringing. Yes, A Night of the Seven Kingdoms.
Oh.
A century before the events of Game of Thrones, there was Sir Duncan the Tall and his squire Egg.
Oh wow!
So that should be interesting. We can unlike Star Wars, where we just kept getting hammered with the Skywalker family. They're just like, you know what? We're gonna go back to the House of the Dragon. Hey, we're gonna go back even further. With the knights and so I think they're cool. They're really putting a lot of emphasis in keeping that series alive so it doesn't get stale. I think maybe somebody over at Disney gave them the idea. It's like, look, just give them a new show every 6 months of the same thing. They will complain, but they will sit and watch it. Another Star Wars show. I'm not watching this crap. The Acolyte was could have been better than that. I thought you wasn't watching the Acolyte, and I'm better than that. So.
Yeah, these anti-Star Wars people, they They out here fronting like the Great Pumpkin. Like they
Yeah.
will, they will,
Like the Great Pumpkin.
they will story tell themselves to death. Oh, this, oh, that, oh, you know, and what I can't wait for, because there's this new, speaking of new stuff, there's this new animated Batman thing Bruce Timm and the rest of those people put out, right?
Oh.
Are we talking about the Cape Crusader?
Cape Crusader, yes.
Oh, dude, you got to watch that. I started watching. It's on Prime.
Oh, I'm done.
Oh, you're
my
done?
stars! I gotta get started. I didn't even know.
Because I was about.
What's my name?
I was about to. Yeah.
Come on.
All right. Here we go. Here we go. What's my name? You know what?
Oh no! Not to the computer.
I'm getting a complaint letter. He's gonna give me one star on Grubhub.
Gripehub is more like it than
Gripehub.
This motherfucker right here.
No, because I was going to Crusader. Go ahead.
I was going to text y'all and be like, "Yo, this show got a lot of black folk." And
lots,
you know, I mean,
oh my stars.
Gordon is black.
Barbara
is black.
They kept Lucius is black, which
Lucius.
Rodriguez is Spanish. I still haven't figured out. Harley is mixed. She's biracial with something because they drew her.
Anyway,
hey, you know, on the other show she was white.
Mm-hmm.
Now today she's black.
The other show. Mm-hmm. Nice.
Today
she's black.
So,
today she's black.
Today she's black. Oh, she's gonna be black today. But no, she because I laughed because I was like, wow, they drew Harley with like actual hips, like like black girl hips, and but her features are very Asian. It's not she's but
so in my head she's Filipino. I don't know what they're actually gonna like go with, but in my head she's Filipino.
But I do have to say this because I have to ask Stephen the $1 million question. Tell me you did not recognize the Clayface episode.
Yeah.
Was that not Karloff and his makeup man?
Ooh.
Go back and look at that photo of Karloff when he's getting done up. And
I thought about that. I did think about that. I thought about that just in terms of, you know, what they made him look like. And and it actually, to a degree, it felt like one of those movies where Karloff is in love with somebody. Like actually his version of Jekyll and Hyde with Abbott and Costello. But still, it was this thing where he was, you know, part of what was motivating him was he was falling for his, I guess it was his ward or something like that. Karloff, but I want to say Karloff has kind of been floating around in that script world a couple of times. The thing that immediately sprung me up out of my chair was when I realized they made Penguin a woman. And when I saw that, and when I saw it, I was like, oh shit, here comes all the anti-woke shit. Here it comes. And that was before it started to dawn on me that all these other characters were black. So now you've got a black Commissioner Gordon, black Barbara Gordon, Lucius Fox, still black.
Still black.
You got, and speaking of Denzel, you got a black corrupt cop, Flash.
Yep. Flash.
You got a whole bunch of, you know, bunch of us in this scenario. And then on top of that, you got Penguin as a woman, and you completely changed Harley Quinn's whole thing.
Yes.
Because now you got Harley Quinn preceding the Joker.
Oh wow.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
And already on some bullshit without any kind of mentoring or, you know, massaging or any none of that. She is on her own, self-activated. And and you just know you can set your watch to all these dummies. They're gonna come out talking about, oh, so now Batman's woke, Batman's DEI, and Batman. You know what?
Look, the art is beautiful.
It is.
I've always loved that Art Deco, that kind of that detective feel that they've given Gotham from the animated series. I love
like a film noir.
Yeah, noir. That's the word I was looking for. And it's just beautifully done. And and you take because even Harvey Dent, Harvey isn't very likable when you meet him. You know, they didn't play him up as the like, oh, I'm Harvey Dent and I want to save Gotham. No, Harvey is like, yo,
he's a real DA.
I'm here to do, yeah. He's like,
he's a real DA.
He's like, you know your client's corrupt. Come on, Barbara, why are you defending this clown? I'm like, wow, really, Harvey? And it's like, it's really good. It's better than I don't even think I went into with expectations. But to see, but I was like you, because when they showed the Penguin, I was like, wait a minute. Now, I'll tell you what I thought at first. I thought it was a woman just performing at the Penguins Club, just made up to look like, until they addressed her, and I was like, oh, this is gonna be this is interesting. We going, let's see where you guys go with this, and just you get a chance, Denise. Yeah,
I gotta check that out for real.
I think I got a couple of more episodes to go.
Nice. He says on Amazon Prime. Okay, cool.
Yep.
Cool. Let's add it
Batman,
to the list of things to watch.
Cape Crusader.
Nice.
Nice twists, nice reinterpretations.
Oh wow. Ooh, I'm so excited.
Yeah, you'll get a laugh out of Catwoman too, I think.
Oh, cool.
Oh yeah. She
no. Yay, I can hardly wait.
She's basically consistent, but with a little twist of, like, I want to say that modern day sort of like entitlement thing that's kind of it again, that I feel is drawn from real life. You know.
Wow.
Yeah, that was it. It's definitely worth the look. And the episodes are short. They're like, a lot of them aren't even a full half hour. So
wow. Okay. Yeah, definitely check it out. Definitely.
Yeah. Man. That's how I just knocked that out.
Sweet.
So, not to bring the room down, but I feel like we do have to address the drivel, the bane, the trash that is what happened at the National Association of Black Journalists when they had a little sit down with Donald Trump. And all I can say, and I'm not going to go into a whole thing here, but it is definitely indicative of how low we have sunk. The things that were said by that man in a room full of Black people. Now, if that isn't the most ultimate disrespect that people willingly let happen, by the way, it's like, I'm at the point now where everyone should really just start pulling back on how much airtime we give this man. Because it's not like, what was it, the Fair Act doctrine, fairness doctrine. There was always something on the books before recent times where you had to give candidates an equal amount of media time. That's obviously out the window now.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and here it is. We harassed Joe Biden completely out of the race because he's quote unquote old. Now, we have a 50-something versus this babbling idiot. Babbling racist idiot with 34 felony convictions.
Yeah.
And we're still doing this. And I don't understand it. I mean, I'm happy for Kamala's surge in the polls, and
yes,
you know, and there's a lot of joy to get out of that. But then every time something like that, and then there's, you know, like there's certain Republicans that are like, yeah, we're going for Kamala and this, that, and the other thing. But then at the same time, you've got certain states playing real funny games with their voting registration situations, with the websites, with, you know, certain people being in place that may or may not actually certify certain votes.
Yeah.
There is a lot going on, you know, and it's great to be happy, and it's great, you know, whatever. But that, what we need to focus on, I think, is less of listening to this buffoon and more of watching what is going on with voter registration in this country right now, because they're about to, there is some, and I'm reticent to use the word because normally we love this word, but there's definitely some shenanigans going on in that department. So
yeah,
Rachel Maddow did a whole thing on that about the 70 something election deniers already in place. And but the great thing is Mark Levine, who is he is a civil rights attorney, white guy. He has been winning cases. And when you get a chance, look it up. They just won a major victory in Mississippi that he said went under the radar. If you weren't, you would, no one would. He said the Republicans actually sent their top people down there to try and keep, to do voter suppression and mail-in ballots and the whole nine. And they just won the case. The judge down there was like, yeah, y'all are not doing that. When you get a chance, look it up, because he said, he's like, nobody knows this is even happening. He said the Republicans did this while everybody was over here looking at this. They were back here doing this. He said, but that's what we do. We're constantly looking the other way. So whenever they jump up with one of these cases, we're right there on top of them. So you also have the thing with Florida, where they're just basically like, if you read the Project 2025, which now they are realizing they should never have opened that kind of can of worms, because apparently all of America doesn't want to fall into that nightmare. But apparently they mentioned that Florida was the litmus test for this. That's why Ron DeSantis was doing all this clownish shit. And what they're realizing now, it ain't working, because now there's huge pushback, and even the judges there are now sick of Ron, and they're like kicking his stuff out. So we've got these, it's like we're taking these 3 steps forward, and then, but there are these 2 steps we need to make sure we cover. Because I saw your post today, Stephen, about the voters, the slick thing that they're doing in Texas. And where they are, so they don't have online, they're telling people to go online to register to vote. But when you hit the submit button, it doesn't go anywhere. You actually have to go and print out the form, fill it out, and then send it back. But they don't tell you that. So people are going in and they're hitting submit thinking, I've registered to vote. Then what's going to happen is when they show up on election day, their name's not going to be on the list. And they're going to be like, well, wait a minute, I registered. And they're going to be like, yeah, you were supposed to mail that in.
Wow.
So there's this young lady, like, basically like, y'all need to pay attention when you hit submit. Don't even do this thing online. Go to your local county registrar's office and register in person and hand the form back to them. Don't even do the whole thing. Because she goes, Texas does not have online voter registration nowhere in the state. So there are these, I think the good thing about this is that what is starting to happen is that people are now, as you say, Stephen, they're beginning to see the shenanigans. They're beginning to become very aware of it. And on the surface, I think the MAGAs are beginning to they're feeling it. Because I think one of the great things that I love about what has happened with Kamala's piece is basically, as much as I love Joe, Kamala basically was like, you know what? We done with the when they go low, we go high.
Yeah.
We now need to get onto the ground and basically be like, I heard you, but fuck you. And no, because for example, I can't wait for September 10th because Kamala's going to show up for that debate and he ain't going to be there. Because she was like, her people were like, so we heard you, Donald, but we're going to be at the place we agreed to on the 10th. Now you either show up. Now you want to do some other shit after that. We'll be more than happy to meet you wherever you are. But you agreed to September 10th. You agreed to this place, this time, this date. That's where I will be. Now, whether you show up there or not, just like Osnick down in when he was going up against Purdue, and he did an entire debate to an empty podium because Purdue was like, I'm not coming. And he says, Osnick's like, well, I'll be there. So the whole state got to hear him.
Wow.
And while Purdue's walking around like, I got this in the bag, people are like, you know what? Those on the fence people suddenly are like, we are in a very interesting moment in time.
Yeah.
Because now because trust me, you'd asked me a month ago, I'd have been like, I don't know what the hell we're gonna do. Because I can't. And not because Kamala's a woman or that she's Black. I just did not think the country was going to get behind it. I just really didn't. With everything else going on, I just had this feeling like she would jump out and be like, I'm running. And I just saw people going, oh, Lord, no. Now what? You know, I was not expecting the surge that has happened.
Yeah, it is such a treat. It is so refreshing. Yeah, a month ago, I would have been like, "Oh my God," just like you, super mega stressed out and like, "What am I gonna move to Canada?" And to see, like you said, this huge surge from so many different areas around everywhere. It's amazing, and it's really a fresh breath of fresh air, a breath of fresh air. Yeah, the fact that like they shut down Zoom at least twice, that voter registration between the ages of 18 and 34 spiked significantly. Like I think this at least 40,000 people have now registered to vote just over that one weekend. I feel relieved. I do. Genuine hope finally. Yeah, I'm not terrified anymore.
No.
Yeah.
And Megan Thee Stallion just had a concert and had everybody fired up to vote for Harris. Like, and I'm like, of all, and that's literally like one of all the places you didn't think. Like, and again, not taking anything away from her, but it was not the place I would have thought. Beyonce, yeah. Megan Thee Stallion, just basically like, and everybody's like, oh, hell yeah. And I'm like, you know what? Whatever works, whatever y'all gotta do what you gotta do. But this thing, I'm at a point now, if you listen very closely, I don't know if you guys watched that dumpster fire with the Black journalists.
A few
there
parts
was
of
a
it.
moment, if you listen very carefully, he goes, I did a lot of great things for Black people. Someone out there goes, what? And I was like, and no one even commented on it, but you hear it like somebody's like, and before it just turns completely, and I'm just like, you know what? At this point, I'm like, he was mad because half the people didn't show up to his rally in Atlanta. And we're now, I think what is now happening is much of his base, much of the people who were on the Trump train, who were ready to get off, are now getting off. They're tired. They're not packing these places because they're like, it's the same bullshit every time you get up there. You don't talk about, and I think some of the more conscious people who are now becoming politically conscious are literally like, this is like an Amway convention.
Oh gosh.
Like,
not Amway.
Because you done told me 40 times how you're going to increase my personal salary at home, but you haven't told me how to do it. And then finally, it's like, if you buy our book for $89.95, it gives you all the secrets. You want to know how to generate more wealth over the phone? It's on page 3. But that's why I came, because y'all said y'all were going to tell me this. Like, I paid $50 to get in here. Now I got to pay another $80 for the book. Hell with this.
Don't forget to
this. There you go. And I think, go ahead.
Oh no, all I was gonna say was what you made me think of just now is, like you said, so we've abandoned they go low, we go high. We have officially abandoned that. And I think that's a good thing. I think as much as I love Joe Biden, as much as I respect what he did post Obama, because you know, we all know his flawed past, but you know, the way I treat him in my head is I treat him like reformed George Wallace. George Wallace was a racist son of a bitch in the very beginning. And then he turned it around and he said, you know what? Yeah, that was wrong. Let me, you know, and basically went like that until his, you know, until his demise. The issue I have, and I want to say this surge speaks to this. It's like, I'm so tired of Democrats, especially the older men, being gentlemanly all the time. You are literally being lied to while you're arguing very valid points. You are being lied to. You are being talked to. Like, you know, you got Marjorie Taylor Greene screaming at you across the room. You've got all this stuff going on, and you guys don't put on boxing gloves and say, all right, check this out. We're not doing this today. Like when Katie Porter is the most gangster person in the room that's actually making sense. And she's not the only one. Obviously, Jasmine Crockett, a few other, you know, AOC.
Right.
You know, all these youngins, relatively young folks, are pushing for real shit. And you know, it may very well be time for Joe Biden to, you know, fade into the background. May very well be time for Nancy Pelosi, because she's another one. You know, because I mean, she talks, and you know, and when Trump was in office, she gave him shit and she did her thing. But then I also have to look at how she didn't back Obama as strongly as she should have, at least in my opinion. You know, she's like, oh, okay. And I mean, I got to be honest. I used to feel sometimes that between Chuck Schumer, Nancy Pelosi, and Joe Biden, they were almost there just basically to mitigate Obama's, you know, expectations. You know, he gets his dick kicked in by Mitch McConnell, and they're sitting there in the office, and they're like, "Oh, we'll get him next time, Skipper." Like, no, you know, it's like it's time to be rude. You meet rudeness with rudeness.
And that's Go ahead.
Did you see? I think it was on TikTok where they had French Parliament. They were all these young members, and they wouldn't shake the guy's hand. Like you're seeing a shift, like in the whole world, not just with us. That now, you know, the younger people, they're stepping up, and they're not being polite. They're not being generous. They're not trying to turn the other cheek.
And I think that also speaks to the whole term limits thing, because you know when you've been there that long, you know, the elders serve their purpose.
Yeah,
they really do. We needed the elders for Trump because the young folks, I don't, as much as I thought about how they could have clapped back at him, I think the Pelosi's and all of them kind of understood, like, we're dealing with a man-child here. So, and young folk don't know how to deal with old folk when they get like this. So we'll handle him now. And I think my prediction was really that Joe was going to run this election, win, and 10 days after taking oath, give the country to Kamala. I actually didn't think he was going to serve the second term. Because he's feeling it. You could see that he's feeling it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And I think in his mind he was like, I don't want to do anything that literally hands them this win.
Right.
Because but you know what? That's that Ruth Bader Ginsburg process that lost us that seat, because if she stepped down when she should have, Obama could have put somebody in place before she passed away. But she tried to hold on long enough, hopefully, for a change, a shift in everything. But what's interesting, because I had to ask this question because we've been seeing all of that. I was like, well, what the hell is Joe doing right now? Now, Joe Biden he did an op-ed, and basically he's laid out his reforms for the Supreme Court. To which, what is his name? Not which justice am I thinking of?
Alito?
I think it was Alito, who got on Fox News and basically said in no uncertain terms to Joe Biden, be careful with your reforms and your changes. Talking about, well, I'm not trying to get into this conversation during an election year. Well, then what are you doing on television?
Right.
And so basically Joe is like, I'm doing a whole thing where you serve 18 years. And then you have to give up that seat. We're done with this. He goes, no other court has a lifetime appointment, not even the president. He said, so we need to end that. We need to do. And now it's like, what do you mean 18 years? Which means nothing would make me happier than for that to go through and then turn around and they go, we grandfathering this in. So there goes Alito. There goes at least three of them right there off the top, because y'all been there too long. Goodbye.
Yeah.
You know, so long and thanks for the fish. You know, it's going to be an interesting fight to the finish line, because the Republicans and what I think is great about this is that they don't know how to attack her.
They were all really stumbling on that.
And I would have joked with Kirk if he was here, because I'm like, they pulled an 8 Mile on him. They decided to talk about themselves, and now they got none of the Republicans ain't nothing to talk about, because now all of a sudden she ain't black.
Right.
Well, she was Indian last week,
right?
And now today she's black. I don't understand how that works. Called biracial. It's like, you know, none of y'all are like actually. Like I'm confused. Like particularly JD Vance, isn't your wife like Hindu?
Right, she is.
Mitch McConnell, isn't your wife Asian?
Ooh.
You know, we're all of a sudden now we're questioning. You know, you got JD Vance, who's a dumpster fire on his own. But I mean,
they got the right one, baby, when they picked that. Fool.
They sure did. They sure did.
And I don't know if everybody's aware of this, but back when Simone Biles, not in this Olympics, but the previous Olympics, back when Simone Biles was kind of going through a little something, and she decided she was going to bow out or whatever. You know who was on television talking shit about her?
JD Vance.
JD Vance.
Oh, brother.
Talking shit about some, yeah.
Like, oh, no.
Like, you even know what a high beam fucking looks like.
Yeah.
Like, motherfucker, please.
Wow. And look at her now. She's better, she's healthy, and she is killing it in the Olympics.
But not even the point.
Man.
But the point.
Oh, no, I agree.
No, but the point is, shut the fuck up.
Exactly. No, let him keep talking because he's just making more enemies and making more allies for Kamala when he was talking about like all the single ladies, the single cat ladies.
The single cat ladies.
And now there's single cat men stepping up too. Like, I'm a single cat man. Yeah.
I love somebody posted a picture of Ripley. It was like,
right.
you know who else was a single cat lady? I was like,
Ripley and Jonesy.
Like, Ripley and Jonesy. I'm like, yes. yeah, that is true. She was a
single cat lady. Yeah.
At this point, it's just they have nothing. And all you have left now to fall back on is your racism and your misogyny. And you know, like somebody, because they said something about they brought this up about the fact there was like, isn't Nikki Haley's name isn't Nikki Haley. That's not her name.
Nope.
She changed her name because she's got she's
Nimrata
Native,
or something like that.
She's Native American. So, you know, you were Native American one day and now you white today. So it's,
Is she Native American? I thought she was.
Wasn't Native?
I thought it was Indian.
I thought she was Indian.
Like from India.
Oh,
like
India.
India. Yeah, like Bangladesh.
I think. Yeah.
Okay. When they said Indian, I'm thinking Native American because
no.
That
like
seemed kind
country of India.
But it's
even worse. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, what's his name the other day was talking about, she hates Jewish people. That's why she's married to one. Like, did y'all not do your homework and know that the second gentleman is actually Jewish? Like, you know, Kamala Harris hates Jewish people. Really? Yeah. They need to like turn the camera on her husband and be like, she does? It's like, it's the first I'm hearing about this. I'm like, you know, the DEI now, you know, diversity, and which is funny, which I find funny, coming from a group of people who live off of nepotism, whose own children couldn't play a game of crack the case and figure things out, but they are running corporations. Like the kid, my son went to Harvard, and when he gets out, he's running my business. He's got no experience in what you do, but you just hand him a business. All the qualified people that should be running it, you don't hire any of it, you don't bring them up, you know. And it's just, it's crazy that you look at that and you think about the history of like, people have gotten jobs that didn't exist. You work in a corporate office. Oh, this is Meyer. He is now the head of X, Y, Z. Like, the hell department is that? And people like, they just made that up on Friday so they could hire him. Oh, okay. All right. Because it looked bad if you fired one of us. Okay. And so DEI, I was like, last time I checked, Kamala Harris got voted in.
And there's that
position.
And then there's that.
Yeah.
And speaking of DEI, one of the greatest tweets, I wish I could remember who it was. One of the greatest tweets I've seen in a while was somebody saying, well, when I first heard of DEI, I thought it stood for Don Jr., Eric, and Ivanka. So,
and you know what, Stephen? I'm so happy that's not. I love the fact that we've come up with weird.
Oh, dude.
They don't know what to do with that. They are like
beside themselves.
They are beside themselves with, you know, you're weird. Well, what? It's like, yeah. I'm waiting for somebody to drop that on Marjorie Taylor Greene and like I said, you know what, your weird ass need to shut
I wish that was me. Be honest. I wish
I'm
that
sorry.
was me.
Well, you got it. You know, right
But
now,
I gotta get in line.
Jasmine still holds that bleach blonde, bad built butch body. And the chairman going, what now? With Jamie Raskin about to fall out his seat laughing.
Right.
Because even Jamie is part of that. He's still kind of teetering on the old school, but he knows how to bite back. He's like,
oh yeah.
I'm wondering now if after this, Kamala wins the election.
Yeah.
What happens to the Marjorie Taylor Greens and the Lauren Boeberts and stuff? I don't see them coming back. I don't see the people in their district being like, you know what?
Yeah.
At this point, what's the point of sending you back up there? You didn't do anything. You didn't stop this from happening. So, you know, go start a podcast somewhere where you can bitch and complain for the rest of your life. And I mean, they're gonna fold like the Tea Party did.
Yeah.
You know. And I look forward to the day where I'm telling you, even Jimmy Carter said it. He said, I'm just holding on to vote for Kamala Harris.
Oh,
He's like, he turns 100 in October, and he's like, I'm just holding on so I can vote for her. So that, I mean, in my lifetime, to see 2 Black people in the White House and a woman would be I'm gonna tell y'all right now, when Obama won, I'm not kidding you, this street, Washington Avenue, was full of people. Folks were running up and down the street. They were leaning on their horn. They were dead, man. It looked like the scene out of The Wiz after the Wicked Witch of the West. Oh shit. Can you feel the brand new day? I saw one person post on a MAGA person's rant. They was like, just to let you know, since you love Trump so much, never forget that the fact that France rang the bells in Notre Dame when he lost, and they haven't done that since World War II. And I was like, oh shit, that's right.
Yeah, exactly. That's one of those things you kind of like, oh, that's cool. And then it comes up later. It's like, oh shit, yeah.
Yeah.
Did.
Yeah. Man.
Well, a couple of months. I think we're all gonna have a cup of these.
Please and thank you.
Yes.
Vintage. And and you know what? All I can do is, we just got to focus on the positive. We got to keep the information going because we got to keep an eye on these folks because, they trying to, they're going to try to monkey with this as much as they can. But at the end of the day, last time I checked, this country is still supposedly about the will of the people. And that will hopefully get us through.
Yeah.
Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, I think that's enough pontificating from the 3 of us tonight. Of course, I'd like to thank my wonderful co-hosts, Denise Tapscott, Mark Abbott, you smooth mother scratcher. I am Stephen Van Patten, and we're gonna check out. I think we're taking next week off, but we'll be back soon enough for more hilarity and hijinks. In the meantime, take care of each other, love on each other, and we will see you very soon.